All right, you guys, welcome back to the channel. It is a rainy day, so no riding, but that is okay because I am ready to prep the Ryker for some new installs that should be coming tomorrow. So what do I mean by prep work? So a couple things that I haven't done before is actually open up this ClamShell. So this will actually be about a 3 or 4 part series on these installs because I have to open up the ClamShell in order to get to the air intake. And once I open up the ClamShell, it's gonna be that much easier to get to the header. So it's gonna be pretty much a 3 or 4 part series. One, opening the ClamShell, getting everything ready and prepped. So that's pretty much the main focus for the day, is getting all of this stuff prepped up for the new installs tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I have not done this before. This shouldn't be too hard, but we're gonna really find out. So as far as I know, what we need to do, I don't have like the brake, like the locking brake or anything like that. So I don't have to pull off the panels or the front or trunk, whatever you're gonna call it. If you do have that like lock on your over here, your lock, if you have that thing actually like locked in, that goes back here somewhere, I don't have that mod. You actually have to take off the panels in the trunk, in the front trunk. I don't have to do that, so we'll skip that part. So basically we're gonna take off the hood, we're gonna take off the front fascia. We have our kicker panels here that we need to take off, and there should be about 8 bolts that I need to take out. There's 3 somewhere around this area and 2 underneath the seat so that I can actually lift up this clamshell. So that's what I'm about to do. All right, so there's a lot of components. It's not very hard, but there's a lot of things to do. So the first thing we're gonna do is remove this air box. All right, so that was the first step, removing the air box. That's very simple. Just you have 2 little metal tabs here. One is here and one is here. You need to pull them out, and then you can literally pull up on the air box and pull it off. The second step is going to be to pull off the hood. So the hood is very simple. There's 2 tabs underneath. We're going to push them, I believe, down, and then we should just pull off the hood. All right, so now we need to remove the front fascia. Underneath here, it's gonna be hard to see, but there's about 2 or 3 bolts you need to remove. I have this skid plate, so I think I have 3 bolts, but you need to remove the bolts from underneath. You need to pull it off here for the front. You should be able to pull off the fascia, so let's get into that. All right, so now that that part is done, not too bad. You can really see how dirty it is, so this will give me a chance to really clean out some of those parts. All right, so now the next step is we need to take off these kicker panels on both sides. They should just be connected with like a push pin here. And I believe there's one somewhere around this area and somewhere in the back. Let's see if we can't find it. We got one here on the side. So we got one there. We got the one up here. And there should be one more somewhere in the bag. Oh, here it goes. There it is, right up underneath. So you need to pull out those push pins and get off both the kicker panels. So that is one side. Don't forget to get the other side. And just a kind of reminder, if you've done some of the work yourself, you know that you have lights and stuff wired up. Make sure you take your cables out. So I had to make sure I got my cable out and didn't want to pull it off. So I just took it off and set it to the side, and we go ahead and get to the other side. All right, you guys. So now we're at the point where there should be about 8 bolts we need to take out and 1 bolt to loosen. So if I'm not mistaken, and this will all be trial and error, here on the front, this would be your left side. It looks like we need to loosen this bolt, take out this one. So that's one we're gonna take out. Let me just walk around the other side here. A little junky, a little cluttered in here. I wish I could have moved some stuff around, but I just didn't have the space today. You're gonna take this one out. You'll take this one out. So that would be 3 that you're taking out. You'll take out these same 3 on the other side. And then underneath the seat, which is gonna be hard to see, underneath the seat, apparently there's 2 to take out, and I'll have to find those. So apparently these are gonna be a T30. So let's go ahead and take out these 6, loosen the one on the other side, and then we'll go for the other 2 that are under the seat. All right, so I want you guys to keep in mind when doing this that the first bolt that I took out is much longer. That's the one in the front. And then the 2 shorter ones were the ones that were on the panels here on the side, right here. They also had the washer on them as well. So keep that in mind when doing this so you put everything back how it's supposed to be. All right, so here's those little boogers that were underneath the seat. So if I go to the seat, here's your exhaust. Those little bad boys are literally right up in this area here somewhere. It's gonna be hard to picture, but they're up in here and they're a pain in the butt, but they are able to be gotten. So now all of that stuff is out. All right, now that we got all the bolts, got all the panels off, I think one of the last things we need to do is actually open up this CVT side here. You're just gonna twist that little lock. Should just come down. And apparently inside of here, right here, this should just pop off is what I'm being told. I think you can push it up out of the way, but it's kind of tough. Let's see, if you just push up, it should come out. But let's see if we can't lift the shell and see if that's gonna just pop out like they say it should. Now, before we lift this thing, I want you guys to see this, that if you're coming down the bike and you're tracing the bike down, you're lifting up this shell. So if you come down right here, this little plastic piece right here, this is where you're gonna pretty much want to lift. You can lift on both sides. Let's see how heavy it is. I mean, right there it's moving. You don't wanna lift up on the seat, but you wanna pick up here. I'm gonna use both hands to pick it up and see if I can't secure it with something to keep it up. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions about opening the clamshell on the Ryker, this is a 2021. They should all be about the same, but if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Leave a comment below and I will get back to you with it. If there's something you need me to explain or follow up on, I can create a whole new video just to make sure that you do this thing right, because you definitely don't want to mess anything up. But as you guys see, anybody can do this. Everybody stay tuned for part 2. Part 2 is the intake, how we take out the intake. So that's going to be the next section. So you guys stay tuned for the second part of this whole series.